From unknown thought-provoking games through survival adventures to game dev simulations and more. I've prepared a list of amazing indie deals worth picking up now. Let's jump right in. Gerda Flame in the Winter is a narrative-driven adventure RPG set at the tail end of World War II. You play as Gerda Larsen, a nurse living in the occupied village of Tringlev in Denmark. When your husband is arrested by the occupational forces, which for obvious YouTube reasons I cannot name here aloud, you are torn between serving your community or saving your husband Anders. There are no combat encounters in Gerda whatsoever, and instead, the tension is built and constantly sustained by the weight of all the moral dilemmas that you'll face, difficult conversations and weighty choices that you'll have to make, and especially that many of them will be time-sensitive. In fact, even when exploring nearby locations, you may be missing something important happening somewhere else, as everything in the game runs in real time, whether you're there to witness or not. Forge and cultivate relationships with different people and factions, level up your mental skills, spend personality points, and know that what you do or not do may and will change how your and entire community's story will unfold. If you're into deep and thought-provoking titles, then at 80% off, Gerda is a bullseye. Now, what makes a villain feel great? Being able to have lives of others depend on his choices. And Papers, Please, despite what I just said, is not a game about the villain at all. But you will be responsible for making important decisions that may and will change many lives. Not all for the better though. I've covered Paper, Please in detail in one of my recent Forgotten Treasures series video, so if you've seen it, then you're no doubt clicking Add to Cart already. But if you're not familiar with the game, let me quickly explain. The 6-year war between two fictional countries has just ended, and you're an immigration inspector sitting in a border crossing booth in a city split between the two nations. And it will be up to you to make sure that only people with appropriate documents and background will pass. Working for peanuts and following an ever-increasing list of requirements from the government, you'll face many difficult and often morally questionable choices, all the while trying to earn enough to support your family. Beware, however, as some travelers may be smugglers, spies, or even TERR or RISTS. At 50% discount until 10th of July, Papers, Please is a must-play. Moving from someone hired to stop spies in Papers, Please, we jump straight into Invisible Inc., a roguelike permadeath turn-based tactics game in which you play as a remote handler leading an entire agency of covert operatives. Infiltrate world's most dangerous and secretive corporations across procedurally generated facilities, fulfilling high-stakes, high-profit missions in this one-of-a-kind blend of strategy, stealth, and resource management. Unlock all 10 super-secret agents, each with unique skills, augments, and gadgets. Complete missions covertly, hack systems, disable cameras, sneak around securities, and crack safes. Or fail, raising alarm and having to deal with the lethal countermeasures that will force you to make difficult choices between having to push deeper and risking it all, or cutting your losses. With randomized locations, threats, loot, and 5 customizable game modes, Invisible Inc. is a steal at only $3.74. Pyre is probably the most unusual game out of all in today's video. It's an action role-playing fantasy sports game mixture. Yeah, you heard that right. Though I'm inclined to note that the emphasis is definitely on the role-playing part. You guide a band of exiles through the Downside, a purgatory-like mystical location where freedom is won and lost by ancient competitions known as rides. Each exile group fights to have their pyre extinguished last, thereby earning liberation. Rides pits 3 of your many exiles against 3 opponents on an enclosed arena with opposing pyres at each end. The goal is to hurl a glowing soul orb into the enemy pyre while defending your own. Sounds weird, I know, kinda like deranged undead soccer, and in a way it kinda is, as whether you win or fail in this, your journey does not end, but carries on shaped by these experiences. You know, like a soccer teams would do. Outside of these truly unusual combat encounters, Pyre is a deep RPG in which you forage for supplies, train your characters, and equip them with talismans and masteries to tweak their unique abilities. So at 80% off until 10th of next month, why not give it a go? Oxygen not included by Clay Entertainment, the very same that gave us Invisible Inc. we've just spoke about, and one more game that we'll talk about later, is a space colony simulation that drops you in a hostile, hollowed out asteroid and leaves you to your devices. So, starting with little more than bare rock and a can-do attitude, you must excavate, build and expand on your base, allocate always scarce resources, automate plumbing and power, and keep everyone breathing and fed. If possible, happy too, but if it's not on the table or within your budget, then whatever. As long as they're breathing, you're doing quite well. To survive in this procedurally generated world, you'll need to juggle your colony's stress, hunger and hygiene meters, fight off hostile creatures and protect your colony from environmental hazards. Most importantly, however, you'll need to switch your mindset from the genre classic micromanagement to Oxygen's own task priorities approach, which makes this unique game truly like no other. Deep simulation of gases, liquids and thermodynamics, a complex recycling system sprawling tech tree and emergent systems interaction make Oxygen Not Included one to get lost in for days. Thrive Heavy Lies the Crown is a medieval fantasy city builder that fuses deep resource management with engaging RTS-style combat and branching narrative story choices, all of which have consequences that can dictate the very fate of your kingdom. The core of city building, so resource gathering, structure building, tech tree research and exploration is naturally sustained in Thrive, but what makes it special is its unique moral alignment system in which each of your decisions nudges it towards either benevolence or tyranny. Foster alliances, trade and protect the land, or exploit resources, intimidate or even destroy your neighbors. The choice is yours, and so are the consequences. But know one thing. Whichever the way you will decide to go, Thrive will provide for a variety of challenges, interesting and life-altering choices, dynamic event system and a whole slew of unlockable unique bonuses. So yes, heavy lies the crown indeed. But the 65% discount may take some weight off your shoulders when seeking something fun to try out. Transistor is a sci-fi cyberpunkish action RPG developed by Supergiant Games that are also responsible for the Pyre that we've spoke about just a few minutes ago. Play as Red, a celebrated singer in the neon-lit city of Cloudbank who lost her voice after being assaulted with a mysterious greatsword weapon known as the Transistor. Now guided by the soul of your companion trapped in said sword, you must find its previous owners and enact your revenge. The most distinctive feature of Transistor is its combat, which blends fast action-oriented hack-and-slash battles with strategic tactical sort of turn-based mode, meaning that you may enter it, which will pause the encounter, allowing you to queue skills at the cost of an action bar and then unleash them all instantly at the enemy once you resume. It's a fantastically addictive formula that complemented with the so-called functions, so passive buffs, active abilities and augments to the functions will keep you playing all the way through. And for $4.65 only, I'm sure you'll be doing it tonight. At $2.27 and 75% off, Don't Starve is a game that will keep on giving and you may start patting yourself on the back for making the right call and getting it all ready. Trust me. Playing as Wilson, a scientist tricked by the demon and transported against his will to a dark, mysterious and hostile world known as the Constant, you must learn how to survive and thrive in it. And let me tell you, not many things are as demanding, but also not many as rewarding. So you must gather resources, learn to craft tools and other useful objects, fend off bizarre and often dangerous creatures, all the while managing your hunger, sanity and health. As the game progresses, days pass, seasons change and the world becomes increasingly more unforgiving and introducing new and more deadly threats. Have no fear, however, as while Don't Starve will not handhold you throughout it all, it will happily generate a completely new and random world for you for your next playthrough. You know, cause you'll want to do better after that first fail. One of my most favorite and completely unknown games is GameBiz 3. It's rough, clunky and looks like it was made in MS Paint, but nothing had ever came close to it in terms of content and complexity in its specific subgenre. But since it's not available anywhere, Dev Tycoon is the next best thing. And at 95% overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, it's probably the next best thing too. It's a single-player business simulation game in which, starting in the 1980s, you launch and expand on your own enterprise. Initially with simple arcade video games, moving into large multi-team projects later, then MMOs, and even your own storefronts and game engines, and eventually, if you really want to and can afford it, you'll be able to build and sell your own consoles. Dev Tycoon is super simple to learn and get into, and with variety of community mods available, even if you get tired of what's built in, and I doubt that you will anytime soon, the amount of content that there is for it more than justifies the $3.49 price it is on sale for now. Today's non-indie pick is one of my most favorite games of all time. I really don't know what happened, whether stars aligned in a specific way or was some kind of magic at play, but Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition is now on sale on GOG at 70% off. And let me tell you, it's one of the best fantasy turn-based party RPGs ever made. I mean, it was so good that Larian Studios, the developers, were the ones that were the first pick and hired to develop Baldur's Gate 3. They nailed that one too, but that's a subject for another video. The Divine has been murdered and the world of Rivellon is slowly being corrupted by the dark influence of the Void. Branded a heretic by the Divine Order, you must escape captivity, discover your true potential and power, and shape the fate of Rivellon. Play alone or in a group of up to 4 friends. Mix and master over 200 skills in 12 skill schools, explore every nook and cranny of Rivellon, talk to anyone and interact with everything. But beware, all of your choices, big and small, have weight and consequences. Fight in turn-based combat that takes everything into account, and when I say everything, I mean it. Even a puddle of water or a barrel of tar can and will change the tide of a combat encounter more than once. I have 155 hours invested in the game, and it's currently on sale for only $12.28, and that, ladies and gentlemen, gives us just shy of 8 cents per hour. You're not gonna get a better deal anywhere. What do you think, guys? Aren't these all super fun looking? Yeah, and deservedly so too. And if you happen to have a Steam Deck or any other of those cool handheld PCs, I'm happy to let you know that all of today's games run great on these systems. If you decide to grab any of the titles, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Oh, and don't forget to check Epic Game Stores too, as they're giving games away for free each and every week, with new freebies dropping on Thursdays. So yeah, don't miss that either. If you liked the video, click that thumbs up, smash the sub down there too, and if you're a really cool dude or dudette, hit the bell so that you'll always be notified about new content. For now, stay cool and funky, and I'll talk to you very soon.